All right, so today I'm excited because we're going to talk about letting people go. I know I have a healing in here to letting go, right? But sometimes like that's letting go of the past and stuff like that. But today I want to really dive into letting people go out of our lives. And sometimes it's friends that we've had for a long time. Sometimes it's family members. Sometimes it's those narcissistic ex people. And then sometimes they even get our friends on board with them, something called flying monkeys, where they get other people involved and you actually end up losing other people because the narcissist got to these people as well. So, and I know that sometimes when we have these people in our lives, and even without that situation, another part of like letting go is when we have these spiritual awakenings or when we're healing ourselves and we are raising our vibration, people are going to fall away. And being codependent or an empath, we might try to fix that. We might try to salvage it. We might try to keep it as close as possible. But we really have to learn to be uncomfortable because it's an uncomfortable process. I mean, anytime somebody's going to exit your life, it's uncomfortable. And we have to learn that that uncomfortable feeling is okay when what is happening in your life is for your highest good. And many times when relationships break up like this, it's because you are excelling and you are vibrating at a higher level and you're working on yourself. And I want everyone in here to really understand that the work that you're doing, not a lot of people attempt. And those people are with their eyes closed. They're stuck in the human world and the human mind, and they don't really get to this level of where you're getting to. And unfortunately, when you're excelling and they're staying here, or even degrading or decelling, that's not a word. The distance between the two of you is really getting further and further apart. And when you let go of them, or they let go of you sometimes, we have to understand that it's for our highest good. So today I want to work on that with you guys because I think it's really important that we get comfortable with letting people go. And I have the abandonment healing in the Reiki vault as well. But sometimes we try to hold on so much because we have had abandonment in our past, so that we get triggered when someone tries to leave us or even distances their self from us, and we kind of try to grab on as much as possible. So does that resonate with you guys today? The other thing I want you to be very aware of is how attached are you to relationships? I have a friend who I've dated a long time ago, and now like all of a sudden he broke up with someone and now he's texting me. And he's like, and I feel as though it's because he's so attached to having someone to talk to all of the time that when that person is gone, it's like you don't know what to do with yourself, and then you try to fill that void. And so be very aware of how you are attached to relationships. We want, and I'm not saying like you can't be attached, right? We want to give ourselves to people. We want to have that, but we also want to keep boundaries. So again, how I explain like codependency is where, you are the relationship. So if you guys were to kind of like break up, you don't even know who you are anymore. And that's like a lot of the women that I work with in the mentorship, which it's like, I lost myself. I don't even know who I am. I don't even know what I like. That was me through my marriage as well. I came out and I was like experimenting with so many different things because I didn't even know who I was. I just did everything he wanted to do. So how attached are you in your relationships? Do you think it would be easy for you to leave? Obviously with grief and all of that, and emotional distraughtness, I guess, making up my own language here, but you could it's possible in your mind, like, yes, I know it would be rough, I know it would be hard, but I can detach from that because I am my own person. I have my own values, I have my own beliefs, and I like to do what I like to do. So I know that I will survive. It might be uncomfortable in the beginning, letting go and getting uncomfortable with them not being there anymore, but I will be able to do that. So I want you to be very aware of that, like of how attached you really are in relationships. Let me just see this chat box here. So Claudia says, I need this. Griselle says, yes, awesome. Who is this? Claudia oh, two, you guys confuse me. Both Claudias are here. Soka, I've been scared to let someone in and share my spiritual journey story because they might think I'm weird. Yeah. And listen, you've got to be true to who you are. And especially you, Soka, with you know, the business you're trying to run. The more I just had this conversation actually with one of my coaches. I said, the more I got comfortable with who I am and what I do, that's when everything starts to work out for you, because you're owning who you are. You're being true to who you are. You're not trying to hide yourself anymore. And I know this spiritual journey, I had this conversation too with somebody else. It's like, we all think we're weird, right? But you never know who's behind the scenes thinking the same thing, not telling anybody that they're doing the same thing, right? That they're into crystals or that they believe in tarot and everything. We just don't talk about it. And it's like, we've got to start talking about it. So it's like if you shift that, right, about them thinking you're weird, if you shift that to like how, like maybe them knowing that I do this can help them in some way, maybe give them inspiration to come out on their own, or even if not, maybe it can open their eyes to something that they never even knew, right? So we have to shift the way that we believe. But for today, it's more about letting go. And again, same thing, Soka, like if you do tell them this, right, and they're like, you're weird, and they don't even give you the chance or keep an open mind, they're not your friends, right? Because our friends and our relationships have to accept all of us, right? And some things might drive them crazy, some things they might not understand, even in romantic relationships, but they have to accept everyone, all of who we are. So don't be afraid to be that, because what you're doing is you're just covering up a part of you. Now, if it's a true friend and you want to share that, now you can have other friends in other boxes where this one I just go to the movies with, this one I do my spiritual stuff with, and vice versa. But if it's a really good friend, like don't be afraid to be who you are, because they should be accepting you for all of it, even if they don't understand it. All right, so today we're going to get more comfortable with that. We're going to realize that when people leave, it's not always about us and that we did something wrong, or that people always leave us. It's usually about just the connection that you guys have is not what it used to be. And some people come into our lives for just a moment. Some people come in our lives for the season, whatever that quote is, you know, I'm not going to remember that. But like everyone comes into our life for a reason. And therefore some stay for a really long time, some stay for just a short amount of time. But you get what you need out of the relationship with them. So when they do leave, or that you leave, right, because you can withdraw from the relationship as well, realize that, wow, this was good. And I'll give you a really quick example. The woman that opened me up to all of this energy stuff, which I tell in all my stories, like we no longer talk. For me, she's a narcissist and I never even knew it. But, you know, when we were breaking up, I'll say, she did a complete wrong way, right? But I actually talked to her, I wrote to her, and I said, listen, even though we're not friends anymore, I just want to say thank you for giving me everything and showing and teaching me everything that you knew about energy healing, because I wouldn't be here without you. So I was able to be grateful to her, even though it was a mess. But even though I was still grateful for her, because she came into my life to put me on this path, right? So we have to be grateful to these people as well. So realize that it's not always about you. Realize that it's not because everybody always leaves you. It's because you're evolving, you're doing this work, and that's okay, because then you make space for the new people to come in. So that's what we're going to do today. So I hope it's going to help you guys. Okay. All right. So go ahead and get comfortable. Okay. Awesome. Let me share my music here with you guys. All right, go ahead and take a deep breath in. And let it out. And take another deep breath in. We're going to call your spirit guides here to help you, as well as Archangel Michael, to help us release and cut the cords with anybody that we're still feeling stuck to feeling like we can't let go. Go ahead and let that breath out. And then go ahead and take another one in. We're going to ask him to cut the cords between. So I want you to think of somebody that you feel this, where you can't let go, or you feel them pulling away, or that they have to, or you have to pull away. And we're going to ask to cut the cords. Go ahead, let that breath out. And we're going to ask to heal and make this a little bit more comfortable and easy for us to let people go and to realize that it's not about you. It's more about the connection that you have does not serve a purpose anymore. And it's time to bring new people in to then bring you forward, bring you through your growth more. All right. When we realize that, and it's not about the actual person, it's time to let go. Whatever thoughts come in, let them come in, let them go out. Here we go. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. And let it out. And take another deep breath in. Give your body a nice little stretch. And go ahead and let it out. All right, I hope that was good for you. There were a couple of things that I wrote down, so I just want to bring this up to you. First thing that came up for me was the song Another One Bites the Dust. A little bit of humor today, I guess, but definitely when we're letting people out of our lives, you got to have that humor with it, right? You got to have that understanding and that it's okay. So you might want to listen to that song today. Another thing here that I have written down is to focus on yourself and stop from thinking about them. So when you find yourself in this space of constantly thinking, okay, are they wrong? Am I wrong? What, thinking about them, maybe another person they're with, like, especially with narcissistic people, because realize that, and this is the hard part, especially with the narcissist romantic partner, even a friend, they will fly to somebody else, right? They will fly to somebody else. And then we start to think, well, what do they have that we don't have, right? Once we get into that mindset, like, we just got to stop it. We just got to realize, be aware that you're thinking like that, and realize that you'll never know the truth about that other person's relationship with the person that you're missing. Okay. So don't focus on them when you find yourself thinking those thoughts about anything about it, right? Just stop it and then do something good for yourself. And then I want you to also say here is, I'm okay without them. So that needs to be an affirmation if you are going through something like this, is that I'm okay without them. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. So a lot of the times we can play like, am I wrong or are they wrong? Am I doing something wrong or are they doing something wrong? Do I have a right to feel the way I do? Like, it doesn't matter. And the questions that you have to ask yourself is, are you really going to miss this person? And I have written here, are you going to miss more of the routine of the person or the actual person? So like I said in the situation before, like, are you going to miss the phone calls every day? Are you going to miss the trips that you guys take? Like, whatever it is, like, are you going to miss those things, but not specifically that person? And then also trust the universe that there is much better coming your way. So when anything leaves your life, whether it be a job, a friend, a family member, person, whatever it is, trust that it's happening for a reason and that better is coming your way. Okay, so I hope that resonates with you, ladies. I want to thank you for joining me here today.